Hello, what's up? I'm the Ultimate Doom here doing another video, and you might be seeing a blank screen right now. That's because we're going to be starting up a commentary for the Jimmy and Joe the Zeta Ring Fiasco. So, I was going to play this and slow it down, but I figured normal speed is just fine. It's an 8-minute video. There's probably not much to talk about. Let's go ahead and try it, starting right now. You have no idea how hard that intro was to do for some reason on HitFilm. So, this scene where Tom is facing off a bunch of elites and doing whatever, that was actually filmed last. This was one of the last days of filming. Aside from, there was a shot where Tom is riding the mongoose that you'll see later on. That was actually the final shot. This rotational scene was really hard to do, and at some point I actually accidentally hit the camera and it shifted completely around. You can almost see the camera kind of try to fix itself, and I had to do that in post-editing because it was just weird. How I did that scene was I have a Lego base plate that would just spin around on 4 sheets of paper that I had outlined to each corner. And each corner that would, the paper would frame around that would have a number between each line, so I know that this corner leads to that corner. And what I did was, I would take a frame and would spin it at each corner. And it didn't go as well as I'd hope. I thought it'd be a little bit better, but it's probably better than if I didn't do it, so. But yeah, it was very tricky, and also, on the sides of that base plate, the edges would come off. And I might show that at the end of the video as like a bonus thing, but yeah. Anyways, here's Jimmy and Joe. For those who don't know who Jimmy and Joe are, they're actually characters that I used to use in the original stop motion that I had sent over for the Toymation, the very first Toymation that won me the Mammoth. So I thought, hey, why not just go full circle and reuse those characters? So the idea apparently was we were supposed to do this on the Zeta Ring, and so I took advantage of that and decided, okay, they arrived on Zeta, they don't know what they're doing, then they want a pet. Okay. That couch right there was kind of tricky to play around with because the backing wasn't really that solid, but I'm very surprised on how well it did. So, people keep connecting Jimmy to Caboose, and yeah, that is the inspiration. Joe, I don't even remember what the inspiration was. Some people say Sarge, I don't think it is. Also, a lot of people either mishear or misspell what Victor is saying. Victor is saying bamp, not meep. I don't know where people are getting meep from, but that's fine. You realize you're a grunt, right? I thought it would be fun to play around with Victor because that was, a big inside joke with the community, so I thought, hey, why not? I had to change out Jimmy and Joe's minifigures because even though I wanted to use the old articulated figures, I wouldn't be able to get that much. Like, there's a scene where Jimmy's arm rotates completely around, and I'm gonna quote, I think it was Manium Mac who said this, but he said that I took advantage of the fact that these are toys. And I wanted to play around with that in some way, so I had Jimmy's arm completely rotate around because he could do that with the physical toy. Now for this shot, I hate part of the shot because it completely breaks away. You can see that Joe is in the same position. This was supposed to be a continuous shot, but I had so many problems with it, especially considering that I was trying to fit Jimmy inside the box and not show it behind the couch until he, left the back of the couch. And it was really difficult to do because the crate just kept poking out on the sides, and then I hit the camera at some point, so I had to cut the scene in 2 different sections and split it with something of Jimmy, like, crashing into the crate, and then you see Victor. Also, when Jimmy jumps up, I had to use a clear rod and crop it out. That was really difficult to do. I did a very similar thing with this. If you don't realize, when Jimmy gets hit by the ball, it's not just a singular image. the ball is rotating. So, in the stop motion. So, if you look through... Okay, there's the final shot. The final shot that was done. If you look in the shot, you will see that the ball, the details will move with it. That's a part that I was really excited for. I really wanted to show like something grotesque, so I had Victor's mouth and teeth. The teeth was difficult, but I did that in Photoshop. No, I did it in GIMP. Also, you will notice that some of the lighting will shift time to time. It was really difficult on my camera, I don't know why. And then also my camera tends to rotate for some reason. And it's not like I'm touching it, like it can be physically just there. No one touching it, and then it will just shift and rotate. It's the weirdest thing. But I did try with the lighting. Sometimes it was difficult, sometimes it was fine. But yeah. There's Victor with the helmet. So, I wanted to get my friends involved with this as well. So I got Zatsugi, who I've worked on with various projects before. I got Larry Arts Productions, who was one of the people behind the TV. When Jimmy slides onto the scene, I'm using a bunch of Lego tiles and I just put them on that. This whole scene, by the way, is a reference to the original video where an orange Spartan takes a drink and was meant to be poisoned, and it turns out that Jimmy was poisoned and he falls off screen. It was one of my favorite skits. Anyways, Mason Brown, or I Am Amazing Mason, is the voice behind the Orange Spartan, and he's been doing a lot of voice acting and just acting in general. I believe he's been in commercials now, too. But I hit him up and I was like, hey, are you available for this? And he said, yeah. Because I wanted to get other voices involved. You know, Jimmy and Joe, that's fine because they were the original voices that I had done. But, yeah. Please don't. Alright, here's two of my favorite takes. It's the hamster, which I thought was hilarious and random with the cryo freeze.
That's a long time for a hamster. Well, it's a good thing I put it on ice.
I just love that because it's so silly and stupid. And then the hammer. I was very surprised with the motion of the hammer. So obviously it's sitting still in the picture in the air, which does make a lot of sense when you think about it, but I really wanted to show that it was a hammer. That was tied to what was going on earlier, which, by the way, I didn't really make that connection until later while filming this. I was like, oh, that could be the same prop, same hammer. But not only that, when Tom, I think I said the name wrong, but when Tom is, like, pushed back from that, I was actually quite surprised that I was able to get the motion done pretty well, because it's really hard with these minifigures, because they're so small and some of the joints get so stiff. With Bionicle sets, you work with bigger joints, so all the little motions, all the little movements, you get more fluid with that. But when you're working with something as small as that, it's really difficult. So, yeah, that is the Jimmy and Joe video. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll add the scene where I show what's going on with that backdrop that I was talking about, all the pieces that was removed, so that I can, you know, get the camera to actually focus on what was, you know, being shown. So, yeah, with that out of the way, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.